right, thanks so much. Let's see, we've got USB-C here now. So, super happy to be here. I want to talk to you all about what has changed in really just the last few years. So, a few years ago, only really engineers could build software. And now that has changed, and more or less anyone can create software. And that is what our product does. It's what we started on back in the summer of 2023. We started a bit early, to be honest. It didn't work. About 1.5 years into the journey, it started working. And the reason for that is really that the models underlying this got good enough. And just before me here, we mentioned, just even last winter in December, we had what I would call another step change in capabilities, where you could build a lot more agentic experiences. And that also took our product to another level. I want to, before I get into the main thing I want to talk about here, I want to talk a bit about how cool it actually is that anyone can create. And my favorite example of this is kids creating. So I got a video here that I posted on X a while back, so I'll play that for you guys.
I am 9 years old.
I'm 11.
10 years old.
I'm 9 years old.
I am 10.
Today we are at Robert's place, and we're part of the Kids Worldwide AI Hackathon.
So currently we have 80 countries participating, and today and tomorrow 1,500 plus kids are participating as well.
Are making a startup, and it's like to make underwater drones. I'm building a Pokemon website where I gonna sell bags and sleeves.
Burgers, and they shoot ketchup. And then the background is basically just a fast food restaurant.
It's very funny because it's so easy to make a website that we see a lot of kids jumping to kind of an entrepreneur mindset. They made their website and they're like, now what's next? And what's next is usually, I need to find users. I need to show it to people, Maybe I need to see, can I use it to sell stuff? So we see them basically becoming kids entrepreneurs.
You need only something to ask and he's doing for you. I think this is very nice.
Didn't knew it could do like a whole website, and yeah, it was really cool.
Actually, it's very cool how you can do it and how it works. I didn't think that you can make so much with Lovable.
First, I think maybe you want a bit to imagine how you want it to look and make it in words to tell to Lovable how you want it. And then Lovable makes it for you.
So, as I said, this is one of my favorite examples of how Lovable is being used. And I think it perfectly exemplifies how easy it is to create now. And of course, we do not only have kids that use the platform, we have basically people from every segment, from consumer, prosumer, B2B, up to the Fortune 500, where more of half of them have signed up for the platform. I want to talk a bit what happens when you start allowing people to create in this way. So, but first off, how many have used Lovable before? Can we do a show of hands? Okay, it's about I would say a majority. So what Lovable does, right, is you heard the kids, you describe it, it builds it for you, and then you ship it, and it's yours, right? It writes code, you own it, you can do whatever you want with it, and we help you improve it as you go as well. So I created this with Lovable right before this, and it's a great chart, and I will explain it. So you heard Felix here right before me talk about building out an MCP and letting kind of other tools get access to the data model underneath, right? And what's changing is that these models are getting so good that they can take advantage of data and context and do a lot of powerful things. And actually, what starts to become the bottleneck is how you structure your data, how you structure your context. Our kind of vision and really what we see in the market in how Lovable is used, especially by companies, ranging from kind of mid-market up to the biggest enterprises in the world, is that you start building out systems where you imagine you have one entry point. So if you build on Lovable, Lovable would be that entry point, right? Where you normally use kind of the Lovable UI and you can chat with the Lovable agent and so on. And you build different applications, different capabilities on Lovable. So I have a few examples here of what you could build, right? It could be an admin panel, you could build a mobile app, you could do like a simple internal tool like an analytics dashboard, you could prototype an onboarding flow, you could build your own customer-facing market site, build an agent, a support agent, and so on. So you're building all of these capabilities across your business. And you want them all to talk to each other so that you can start kind of chaining and building workflows and letting the AI do that for you. And that's where you really start kind of getting the full power of what the LLMs can enable for us. And so that's if you build on Lovable, right? And I think regardless if you have kind of everything on Lovable and you're fully Lovable pilled, right? If you have things externally, you want to connect to those things as well. So I will talk a bit how that works, but basically you want to have a way to connect any data to one entry point. So one question, right, is kind of how does this get routed? So here's a quick example, right? So what's driving churn this quarter? You ask that to Lovable as an agent, for example, and you've built an analytics app that has access to your analytical data. And then Lovable would be able to get that information from your app. And that app, in turn, might rely on something underneath it, right, that gives it that analytical information. It could be Voyado as a platform, it could be BigQuery, or anything. And then once you have this, you can also just start building new things that rely on what you've already created, such as if you just want to build a new dashboard, that would just build on the same foundation that you've already created. So there's one important point here I want to make, which is that when you start building things yourself, you get more control. And these are examples that I've seen in the market, actually, and I've kind of anonymized them because I don't want to go into that detail. But I'll make my point, right? That you have tools out there that have this tension between being a product and a platform. And what can happen and what does happen at times is that these companies, these products, these SaaS providers, they choose to limit what access you have to make their platform more powerful in comparison if you would use kind of their APIs and their MCPs and the programmatic access to their platforms. So there's kind of communication tools that does this, where you can't get all of the data from when you're chatting with your teammates. And there is kind of knowledge-based tools that do this, where you can't actually search all of your data efficiently and you can't build on top of it efficiently. And this is, of course, not a problem if you build the app yourself. And this is a trend we've seen in the market, where people want to start building more themselves. Normally, the major kind of motivation is that it's either easier, or you needed something custom, or it's cheaper because you're skipping a subscription, so you're kind of replacing some maybe more trivial SaaS. But this reason was a bit of a surprise to me that we found out when we started digging a bit more, that actually a lot of people, they also just want to build their own things to be in control of it and have control of the context. And I do think this makes a lot of sense. So by building like this, you give yourself control. And control also comes with responsibility, which sometimes it's great to have a SaaS provider that can take that responsibility for you and do some of the thinking for you. We try to help you take that responsibility. And so you replace your SaaS, you own the data, and everything is integrated by default, right? Like I showed you, you have kind of Lovable as the connecting fabric, and then you have all of these apps that you've created. And if they can all talk to each other, you want them to talk to each other in a safe way. And you want to make sure that you have the right permissions and the right controls in place. So that is also part of what we solve on a platform level. And we call that kind of the agentic and the data control plane. So this slide deck that I have here is a Lovable app, and I was just prompting it. And I told it to add this input here where I could ask about the Lovable team. So I could ask, what does Fabian do? And hopefully this works. So Fabian is our CTO and a key leader in the EPD. That means engineering, product, and design leadership team. He focuses on making sure things move fast. And he also enjoys quick workouts, which is true. I think it's something I put like a fun fact about myself. You could ask, what does Anton do? So this is just building on top of a Lovable app that we have internally, which is called like, who is everyone? Because when we started scaling the team, we realized like, wait, who is everyone? So here it's saying who Anton is, but it's also mentioning we have a few other Antons. And on that topic, how many Alexes do we have? This is a problem in the company, actually. 10 of them. They're duplicating quickly. Anyways, right, so this is just an app. This is the app. It's something just an engineer started creating himself, and then kind of everyone just started contributing to it. And you can see here, Anton 2 days ago, he was here asking for phone numbers, apparently. What I want to show here as well is that you can go here into services, cloud, and database. Normally, you don't care about this stuff. I want to show it to you, not because you have to care about it, but because of what it means. So this is just the database, and it's a Postgres database. It's an open source database. It's what Lovable uses when it creates apps for you. You don't really have to care about all of that, but the point is that this is just your data, right? This is your data. So what can we look at here? People, maybe. Maybe I shouldn't leak this, actually. Yeah, we won't look at all of the, but you can see here, yeah, there you got names, right? So this is all of the people we keep track of, right? And they have avatars here and so on. No one has been in here designing this data table, right? It's just Lovable doing it. But you have all of the data, you can export it, you have control over it. That's the point. So that's one example here of something we built internally, and I want to go through like a few more examples, which I think are fun. So we created an analytics tool in Lovable, and this is also a bit sensitive to show, but I've tried to do it. So I scrolled down from like the most interesting metrics, but this is LoveSite. It's something an engineer within our data analytics team built, and it became the default way that we do insights. So one very important metric for us is how many users get stuck. Sometimes you get stuck when you build. We track this metric, and in this app, it's kind of defined what is this metric and so on. And this has really changed how we work with our data, more so than we expected. So I'll just show you a few examples of this. So I just went into Slack right before this, and I checked like our LoveSite channel, which is where people ask love site things. So here we have Johanna, and she's kind of asking to give an overview of our SEO feature that we launched last week. And it's giving her some kind of insights here. And then I saw there was like 14 people in this thread in the product organization that started thinking and like, oh, how can we tune things? And how is it going with our launch, right? And it's all just conversational. It's in Slack. And this bot here is just part of the application I showed you. And we have a Slack connector, so it's easy to build these kind of things. And another thing here, which I think is interesting, is Susanna here. She works on our go-to-market team on the engineering side. And she was asking about what are the most complex projects in, and I'm kind of blanked out the customer name here, but in their workspaces. It's saying here, like, I'll look this up using the B2B workspace scoping, but I'll keep project details anonymized unless this is an approved DM/context for enterprise customer data. And this comes back to the control plane that I'm talking about. For us, we take our customers' data very seriously. In this example, right, Susanna has permission from this customer to kind of help them out and make sure they are successful on the platform and they have an active dialogue. So she can look at this. But if another person in the team would ask the same question, it would say no. If you don't have a good reason to look at the data, you're not allowed to. And this is just an example of the data control plane, right, and the agentic control plane, where you can actually make sure that when everything is connected, you need to be really sure that you have the right permissions on top of it. I saw Anton here also, quite late on Friday here. He asked how many paid referrals come from share Lovable flow plot over time. And LoveSite created this plot and answered his question. So we use it to ask basically anything around our customers, around how the business is going and whatnot. I wanted to show one more app here quickly, which is our roadmap.
9 years old.
11.
We'll close that. So this is a tool we use to keep track of what we're launching. I scrolled to the left here, so I'm not spoiling things. It's always fun demoing the internal apps. But we started having like troubles keeping track of like what we're launching and when we're launching it, and we want it to make sense for the market, kind of when things are coming out. And we have like this tiering system of things we're launching, like tier 1. So this is all quite custom to how we work. And of course, there are applications that track this sort of thing. But it was much easier for us to just create this ourselves and customize it to how we already worked. We just wanted to create an app that kind of details how we do it. What I think is cool about this too is there's some things here that we didn't want to recreate. We use Linear, which is this task management system. And if you go into, I don't know, what is this, an agent builder thing here. And that was a bad example, actually. See if we have something connected. So here, for example, we have a link to a Linear project, which is the underlying kind of task management that we use. And this app is just connected to Linear. And that's also a connection we have out of the box in Lovable. And it's just one of these examples where you take something you build and you connect it to something external. And it all just kind of feels magical when you're vibing this stuff, right? And this way you don't have to rebuild everything. You can kind of build custom experiences on top of existing software. Cool. So that was the last example I showed there on some internal things that we've been building. And I think, so people talk about kind of being AI native. And I think when I think about Lovable in this space, right, what it's really about is to kind of make sure when you build your own apps that you're not locked into kind of a vendor's solution fully, that you have your own flexibility, because when things are moving so quickly, this is very important. And that you're also not feeling limited by, especially like slow-moving companies that kind of take control of your data to stay relevant. And this happens all the time, right? And if you actually control the data, you can do whatever. And just like I showed you, I make a point actually of when you build something on Lovable that you own it, you can export the data, you can control it, you can do whatever. And being invited here, I want to say something more, right? And actually, before I agreed to kind of come here and speak, me and Johan, we talked at our office. And one thing that I asked is how they're thinking about this and how they're thinking about kind of letting their customers get access to the data on their platform, right? And I think we had Felix here right before me talking about how they're not trying to take the control, and that was the same answer I got. So I didn't feel hypocritical coming here and like talking about this stuff on the stage. So I wanted to demo this. So I flew in here to Sweden again this morning, and on the plane they had great Wi-Fi, and I could try out the alpha version of the Voyado MCP. So I thought I would attempt a live demo here, and we can take a look. So let's just go here to Lovable and go to the dashboard, and let's see. I have a prompt here, so I'll just send this prompt away, and we'll see what it does. So here I'm asking Lovable to create a mock-up for retailers, like my pages, using the Voyado MCP. How many people here know what an MCP is? All right, so an MCP is a way for an agent to talk to another agent. It's a way for Lovable to get access to the data in the Voyado platform. And so this is what we're using. And here I'm just asking it to create a website with this data underlying it. And we'll multitask a bit here, so bear with me. I want to show you two examples. So that, let's see. So the first one we're building is like my pages thing, and then I want to build another thing, so I'm just opening another tab here, and I'm saying, let's build a stunning, action-oriented, C-level dashboard for Voyado Engage using the connected MCP. So, okay, now both of these things are going, and bear with me, I'll open another tab. And here I just want to quickly show you connectors in Lovable. So this is when you connect Lovable to external systems, and we have a bunch of these kind of pre-built connectors. So let's see if we have stuff relevant for e-commerce here. We have Shopify, for example, where you can get access to your Shopify instance and a bunch of other things. And then you can also go here and you can add custom MCPs. And that's what I did now for kind of the first version of this alpha version that I got access to. And you can see here it gets like a bunch of tools and so on. Again, you don't have to care about this stuff. I'm just showing it. And so this is what Lovable is using to get access to the data. And we have a test instance of a store up here with some example products and data in it. So that's what it's using. And this will take like a few minutes. So I'll show you one more thing while that is going. And it's that just like you saw the kids in the beginning, they are very good at using AI because they're just very creative and they don't know, they don't think about the limits of what they can do. So if you're curious, like let's do this. What can the Voyado MCP do? So you can just ask things. It's okay. And the AI will kind of help you and figure it out with you. So if you're ever confused with AI, you just ask the AI. It's a very good teacher, and it can you can dig in and you can customize. And I'm sure a lot of you are kind of using AI in this way. So here it's just starting to list different things that I can do. So it has access to contacts and consents. We heard things about loyalty just before I came up here, and I thought this was an interesting example actually, where as a SaaS provider, they can kind of start interviewing all of you and figure out, okay, how do we actually think about creating a good loyalty platform? And this is the type of thing where you get value from using SaaS providers, right? Where they think about kind of this problem in aggregate, and they get a lot of information, and they can come with a solution that you probably wouldn't think about yourself just looking at your own business. So this can be immensely valuable, and I don't know the first thing about loyalty in e-commerce, but I'm sure if I use this MCP right, it can get access to tools where it can get these best practices for how to do it. So, all right, now I went back to the first tab where I asked for create kind of this My Pages, and AI is quite fun, right? It just makes up things. I didn't tell it a name or anything, but good morning, Maya. Welcome back. And apparently I have a points balance, and this is then from kind of this instance, this test instance that we have. So this is real data, real as in data that Lovable is grabbing from the MCP, right? And it's showing my lifetime things. It's carry your atelier. All right, it's showing things I've bought and things I own, things I've considered. All right, and this looks quite good, and you can go in here in details and you can kind of see what it did, and you can see that it actually went into kind of the engage MCP here and started getting the data. I was hoping this was going to be done now. So it's doing a lot of things on the second one. But again, here you can see kind of when I go into the details here that it's calling this MCP a bunch of things, and it's kind of exploring, and it's this agentic process, just like a developer would kind of start exploring this tool and see what data is there, and then decide to build something. So I think it just finished up here. And so here I asked again for kind of this C-level dashboard for the Voyage Engage product, and this is again based on the data that we got, and we can see here we have apparently we're earning 35,000 SEK in revenue, and we have a lot of sales. I feel like we should be earning a bit more almost. We have a lot of customers, and this is just what it came up with when I asked it for a general dashboard. And what's powerful about this, right, is that you can keep on iterating on this, and you can customize it. You can make it personal for you as like your specific role in the company, exactly what you want to see. You can create a general dashboard, and you can share it with others. You can share it here. You can publish it like this. We would probably not publish publicly, but we can publish it to our workspace and just keep it internally as an internal tool, right? So this is what's really powerful. And again, you can also ask it here, how come our revenue is so low compared to the sales we've made? I'm sure the AI will try to come up with a good reason here, because I think the test data we have doesn't make full sense. But the point I'm making here is that you're kind of building this thing, and you can follow up in this chat and build new things. But you could also interact with the data directly from the chat, where it can actually go in, and now it's gonna go and kind of read the code. It's gonna think a bit, and it found these figures that I mentioned here. I haven't tried any of this before, by the way, so I'm kind of curious what it will come up with. But it's a very kind of dynamic experience in this way, that you can build this asset and you can share it, and you can also just chat with everything in the same sense that I showed in the beginning, where everything is connected. So these were two examples now on using the Viado MCP in Lovable, and it's a good catch. Thank you. So it came up with some explanation here, right? And you can dig into this like you would expect in any kind of agentic conversational experience. So that is what I wanted to show you today. Building has changed. Anyone can do it. You don't have to be a developer anymore. You can build. You can just do things. Be like the kids, go on and just try things and see where the limits are. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Fabian. Here you go. Thank you. Super nice for the live demo as well. So I have a quick question for you. If you were the CEO of a retailer here today, what would your priorities be to make sure that the business is still relevant in 5 years' time?
So I think hopefully the CEOs in the room would be able to answer this better than I can. Yeah. But I can answer it from kind of an AI perspective, right? And first off, 5 years is a long time. If you the technology underneath building everything I showed you now, I'm thinking about transformers came out 9 years ago. And I think now 6 years ago we had GPT-3, which kind of started this revolution of using these large language models. So that's about the time frame you're asking me, right? And I think anything can happen now in 5 years. And I think what's important is not to try to predict like exactly what is going to happen, but the way you stay relevant with this is to really kind of challenge yourself again, like the kids, you know, just push the limits and use these tools to the max. And not necessarily like the most complex things you can think about. Often, a lot of the value you get from using AI is taking the kind of the obvious power of AI and combining that with something else, and that often becomes non-obvious. That is what we did with Lovable, right? We just took this LM and we combined it with writing code, and we got this platform and this company.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Fabian Hedin. Thank you.
Tack så mycket.
Ja.
Tack.